Hi, my name is Bill Leebody. I'm the production manager for the Depeche Mode Exciter Tour. I'm in charge of the crew, and I'm in charge of getting the show up, from loading in the morning to putting all the equipment up to getting the band on stage, doing the show, and then when we finish work, packing up the gear, putting it in the trucks. We get in our lovely bunk and move on to the next city and sleep overnight in the bus. It's been very hectic. We've traveled some tremendous distances. We've gone to some strange places in the eastern part of Europe, Russia, Lithuania, etc., etc. That makes it a little more challenging than just Western countries where they're very used to doing shows. I actually have always been a fan, so it's been tremendously enjoyable for me. I've always liked their music. I saw the Devotional tour, which I thought was one of the best live shows I ever saw in my life. So I've enjoyed working with them. They're a great band.
My name is Paul Nomdale. I'm the lighting designer for the Depeche Mode Exciter Tour. Generally, it's down to between myself and the artist. This was an unusual situation. It was a really interesting experience because generally there's ambiguities about the way the show should look, and there's no clear sense of direction, or there's multiple interpretations of how the show should appear. On this occasion, there was a very clear, concise look required for the show. It made it a good deal easier and far more rewarding. My current projects and my recent projects include a long-time association with Björk. Last year I did Tracy Chapman, the Beastie Boys, Tears for Fears, a long tradition of independent alternative artists, PJ Harvey, the Pixies, the Cocteau Twins. Many years of avoiding a real job. I have a master's degree in parasitology. My vacation job was working in a theatre. The two never came together.
I was hired as a production coordinator. I was involved in the very early stages of the tour in finding a lot of the crew members that were actually part of the touring party for the tour. And I also worked with Anton Corbin to develop Anton's stage set design into what is the show now. I think they're one of Britain's best kept secrets, Depeche Mode. They've always been an international rock band. I always tell people a story about when I was 19, and this is my lean on it. I was 19 and I'd just started to work in the music business, and I went to work for Queen. And they were truly an amazing rock band. And I didn't rediscover that same feeling about watching four guys on stage until I came to work for Depeche Mode. I think Depeche Mode are truly one of the great rock bands of all time. I've had spies and people I respect within the industry call me from different places in the world because they knew I was involved. And they've all unitedly called me and said that they thought this was a great show. And they believed it was one of the best Depeche shows they'd ever seen. So that's been something that's kind of kept me going along the way, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it tonight.
Hi, I'm Anton Corbijn, and I am the stage designer for Depeche Mode, and generally looking after the visuals. The idea for the Depeche show was more about scale, so hence the massive screens we see and a very flat stage. It was basically it was a very simple setup, which on a practical level I think the band really likes. I think it was around December last year, December 2000, and I was asked to think about doing the stage. So we had then got meetings with Lee, and he introduced me to Paul Nomdale. So after the initial ideas period, we got a model made of the stage and showed it to the band, and then got the approval to go ahead with it. The original idea was actually to have a roof over the stage, so half the backdrop would go down sort of 90 degrees, and all the lights, the small lights, would come off it as a jungle of lights. Now that didn't really work as well as we thought, so that was hit on the head quite early on the tour. And instead we have just one flat back, which for the projection works the best anyway. The way I wanted to film it is to make the band still look epic have the stage and the band together have an epic feel, but at the same time zoom in a lot on Dave and his way he moves, the way he looks all the time, the way his body reacts, or his face reacts to things that happen, the way he looks at Martin, the way he looks at the audience. There's always something happening with Dave. So in a way it's like a movie where you can try to feel and become, in a way, the lead character. And the way we did it was more with longer lenses and very little wide-angle lenses. So it just has a boldness to it. There's some great things like the shark. It was a shark about this size, I think. But it's like a miniature, massive shark. And when you see it swimming, you can't tell on the screen what the size of it is. But that was an amazing thing to do, and it's not what some people might think it's looped. It's totally not looped. It's actually the shark. It's real movement continuously. It was the best up till the next one.
My name is Baron Jonathan Kessler, and my title is Manager of Depeche Mode. We started planning for this tour really back in about June of 2000, when we really started to talk about the possibility of, we were recording the album, and we started to talk about the possibility of, if the album went well and things all finished well, we would talk about doing a tour, looking at doing a tour of America and of Europe, and discussing where we wanted to play, how long we wanted to go out for, and what kind of a tour we wanted to do, really. Once we've decided on that, we nail down on really where we're going to go specifically, and the size and the type of venues we want to play. And then we start to look very much at the art side of it, really. How do we want to present the tour, and how do we want to present ourselves? To that end, we think about what kind of show, what kind of songs do we want to do, which is a long and lengthy process of deciding with a huge catalog that we have, what songs we want to do, what set we want to do, and then of course how we want to present it, what staging we want to do, and what production we want to give.
In the film 101, you know, you were very well known for the scene where you were counting the money.
Yes.
So how's the counting going? Is it a good tour for you?
This tour has been extremely successful. I think beyond our wildest dreams. We had a difficult decision at the beginning as to whether we should start this tour in America or start this tour in Europe, because the album came out really in middle of April, and we were starting this tour in the middle of, or the beginning of June. So we made the decision this time to go right on the back of it in America and then come to Europe. America, the tour was extremely successful, and Europe, I think, was even probably more successful, was, I think, beyond my even wildest and craziest expectations and hopes.